Hi friends and family, welcome to You Plug. Welcome to the plug that keeps you plugged in. Thank you very much once more, friends and family, for joining us. Thank you for setting your time aside to engage our content. Thank you very much for suggesting our content. Thank you for engaging our content. We really do appreciate that. It makes us want to continue to do what we are doing. It gives us energy, in fact, to continue to do what we are doing. So thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. And if you happen to be in the space for the first time and you do not know who this guy is, nagi opa wagaramalagana gimnar nom sudo gata faso khashadro gata gas gingiden gamazul gamno tuturusa gigoble bertabatoro marbutul komaritani budakobo utara mutu. And as always, friends, I'm with my guy here.
Hi friends and family, welcome to You Plug. Welcome to the plug that keeps you plugged in case you missed it. This is You Plug with Mac, Opes and Taban.
Yeah, there
we are always excited to be bringing you content, and please look at our previous episodes just to see that beautiful introduction of Tsepang joining the family, and I hope that you will love it and you'll enjoy it. You'll see us changing. Some of us will get to get an off because now we have another member, and sometimes it'll be the three of us. We'll be interchanging and all of that. But with all that said, I am Mac. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm a child of the Most High God, blessed and highly favored, a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a nation belonging to God, to declare the praises of Him who has called me out of darkness into His beautiful world of relationships.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm just looking at you. I see you're flowing. It's going. Yeah, sure. I mean, today it's a different one. We want to respond to a video that was making its rounds on socials, but we want to respond to it based on our own convictions, on our own faith background as well. I think you guys have seen the video. Some of you may have seen, but if you haven't, we'll just play segments of it, and then we'll just make some comments on that. It's on Penuel's show. I think some of you guys know him. I think he's a very smart person. I think he's very knowledgeable in so many areas, but also I think he asks the right questions. I don't always agree with him. Like now, I will not. But generally, I think it's a necessary voice that we need. But also alongside that, I think we still need alternatives. There's him who's giving his own point, an opinion on marriage and the function of marriage and the role that marriage should fulfill. Which is what does not correspond with my faith background, and we just want to engage that a little bit.
I actually wanna ask, if somebody says, is it really necessary to respond? Like, why are we even doing this? Why do we have to? Are we chasing clout? Are we looking for attention? Why don't we just do our own episode without that?
I mean, yes. I mean, there are different voices in society that contribute in shaping the society, and we're doing this because we think all voices are necessary, and also, in my opinion, Mac, I think there's, especially when it comes to the subject of marriage. In fact, informed by my faith background, I think there are certain truths that should not be like we are living in a society that says there's your truth and there's my truth. But generally, I don't think that's the case. I think there is truth and there are opinions. And we have to say, this is my opinion.
You think that there is truth?
Huh?
You think that there is truth?
Well, there is truth.
Okay.
There is truth, and there are opinions.
That segment already sounded like that's your truth.
No. It's not. That's not what I'm thinking. Because by nature, truth should stand.
Sure.
And I mean, I'm saying this to defend the truth that I represent.
Okay.
That's why I think it's necessary to engage that. But also, I think he's a very influential person. Many people of different opinions. Some have no opinion at all and may take that as the opinion, which I think I'm here to provide an alternative, so that someone will say this is the opinion, but this is the other opinion, and also so that we can make even a better informed decisions on issues like
yes.
that.
But yeah, no, I think you said it. You said it very well, especially us who advocate for healthy relationships, who advocate for marriage, for relationships that contribute to a healthy society.
Yeah, sure.
It's very important that such things we cannot just overlook, but we need to speak and to interrogate and suggest an alternative. So that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Again, it's our contribution to freedom of speech. We can all give opinions about stuff. But our opinion, it's biblical based opinion. Its foundation is the Bible. I don't know what is Penuel's faith backdrop, or if he has any for that matter. And I don't even want to problematize that or make it a problem. I'm just saying, he's speaking about marriage from a different context. I'm speaking about marriage from a different context as well. That should be out there so that people will. I'm hoping that they will find truth in what I am saying. But then otherwise, society is built by different opinions.
Let's get to it and let's hear. People are wondering now.
What are we saying? So yes, friends. With that being said, we are going into it. So this is what Penuel says about marriage and what marriage is.
A marriage is meant to end when one or both of you mature to a certain point. The reason you guys are getting married is because you need each other for something.
Hey.
Sure.
Hey.
Just from the onset.
Marriage is meant to end.
Yeah, it's I think that is it's a distorted view of marriage. We don't get the prerogative to decide what marriage is because it's not our institution.
Oh yeah, sure.
It is God's, and He has built and instituted for marriage to be forever, for a lifetime.
Yeah, sure.
In fact, He goes as far as saying that He hates divorce. So that is I think I'll keep it at that, because he's the start. He's defining what marriage is, and is supposing that marriage is meant to end at some point.
At some point, when it has achieved a particular purpose.
And all, without stretching it even too far, is that the journey of marriage is a purpose in and of itself.
Yeah, sure.
To glorify and to bring glory to God and to produce a godly offspring.
Yes.
So that right until the end, right until death do you part.
Yeah.
That is the purpose.
Yeah. I mean, I was officiating a wedding this past weekend.
Oh. Welcome.
And thanks, man. And I stood in front of that couple. I said to them, I require and charge you both that a commitment to marriage is a commitment to permanence. It is God's desire that your marriage should last forever, and it should only be separated or should only stop at the point of death. The commitment to marriage itself, simply because there's a difference without even talking too much, because we're still going to unpack this and listen and watch this. There's a difference between how we view marriage from a Christian point and how other people view marriage. One, you have the contract versus the covenant. The contract has stipulations, and it says it will end at this point,
Sure.
because that's the nature of contract. They end, and they
If
get
it's
renewed.
breached by
If it's
one.
breached by one, then these are the outcomes of
Yeah.
it. But the covenant, it's deeper than that. Covenant says it's not just the two of us. There's the middle party, and in this middle part, in this covenant, the middle party is God Himself. So, and it says to me, because it's a covenant, I have to constantly play my part in building this covenant to honor God. That even when the next person is struggling to hold their part of the covenant, I'm not going to downgrade my part or fail my part. I'm going to hold truth to this nature of the covenant, because it's a covenant of permanence. Just simply because, not for the marriage's sake, but because of what it represents, the marriage itself, the institution of marriage itself, which is the relationship between Christ and the church. That's a permanent relationship there. If the church fails to play its part, Christ remains faithful.
Yeah.
Christ does not change because the church is failing to live up to his expectations. So the reason marriage can't end is because if that the reason it should not end, it's because of that. We are when we end ours, then we are it's a bridge of that, or we're distorting Christ's relationship with his bride, the church. So it should hold permanent. So no, we don't agree with that opinion. We are of the opinion that marriage is permanent. It should last permanent. I mean, we understand and sympathize with those who have to go through divorce because of whatever circumstances that they were going through at that point, maybe. And most of that will be abuse. When someone is abused, then their life is in danger. We sympathize with someone who had to go through divorce because of that. But that does not change the truth. You see, we can sympathize when we can, and we should sympathize because of the pain of divorce. But our feeling should not distort the truth. Can't change the truth that the commitment of marriage itself is intended to be the commitment of permanence.
Yeah. So without people feeling like we are taking it out of context, let's continue the
thing. Yes, here's the reason he says. He gave his definition or his opinion of the purpose of marriage. But here's what I think a further part of what Penuel says about marriage and the purpose of marriage.
The reason you guys are getting married is because you need each other for something.
Sure.
And we're meant to empower each other to a point where we don't need each other anymore.
So he says so Penuel says the reason we get married is because we need each other. There's a purpose we need to. There's this particular need, and when that need is met, he says marriage should end. I don't know. Well, that's a challenging statement right there for me. Because why? Well, generally, I would ask a question of why then do you even want to get married if you know that the marriage is going to end, if you know that you are in this to end it. I'm struggling to get the point of that. Why do you go through the hassle of bringing the families and everyone together to celebrate, and then just to know that it's going to end in the near future? Why should you commit yourself within the context of marriage? Generally, but also I think that's also a challenging worldview, Meg, because we need to work hard on ourselves, that we don't feel like we need someone else to come and fulfill a particular purpose in our life. Well, that is not taking away from the fact that we are a relational being, we are a sexual being, we are emotional beings. That should not take away from that part. But essentially, at the core of our existence, we need to have done so much emotional work that we don't need the next person to come and fulfill that role. General, before relationships, before anything, I need to commit myself in the journey of working on me, you know. Because this kind of worldview reduces, for me, it reduces the essential value of a person, because it really reduces the value of a person, because then I put value on a person based on what they can give to me, or what they can do for me. That's the value I place on
all that they exist for is
to meet that need. It's what I need, is to meet that particular need.
Usually as Christians, we would be labeled as being judgmental or not. I hear where this is coming from. I hear that relationships has shown as flames.
Sure.
You have invested so much and you have committed only to get only for someone to come and divorce and claim. So this is the reality that we live in.
Sure.
It's our assessment and our response is not being oblivious to all of it, but it does not take away from the truth. The reality is that, and the Bible gives us this problem very well stated for us, that we are fallen human beings.
Sure.
That we lost our relationship with God and even with each other. But
and also, while you're on that, if we don't find help, all that we will do as humans is to pursue what makes us happy at the expense of any other person.
Yes, and that's where even I want to get to, is that because of this, we are selfish by
design,
nature,
by default.
By default, So our pursuit is to what will make me happy, is what will fulfill me. It's not the ultimate goal that God has.
Sure.
So if we go with this worldview, it's all about pleasing self. And if that's your goal, then it's going to be problematic, because you're not going to allow not everyone is going to have that freedom to do what pleases self. So now if we pursue this objective worldview, that God has placed laws and that He has a purpose, He has an overall goal. When we pursue that, then we know that our relationship is not determined by what makes me happy. We will get joy, we will get happiness from that. But that's not the ultimate goal. But it's to do what pleases God. I feel like I'm going to go on. Let me stop there.
Sure.
Because we're only even less than 15 seconds into the video.
Sure. No, let's hear more.
I'm a 30-year-old man. I marry a 20-year-old girl. She's young. She looks to me as a provider. Hey, ubaba, I must help her get through school. I must help her get a job. I must help her become strong. And then after that, she must leave me. Why is she still there? Because once she stays there, but she's got money. Sissy in Kunzezu too. Now I want the family to go to Cape Town. She's like, no, I want to go to Durban. I'm like, Aibo, but I said, she's like, well, I can afford.
Yeah. I think also, Mac, on this one, I find it a bit problematic. I find it problematic and deeply patriarchal. And I think also that's a challenge of many relationships. We think communication in relationship is telling the next person what they need to do. At best, Mac, in a relationship, you can suggest. You can't give. You don't own any person. You can't give people instructions. And I mean, how he elaborates on that, he says the reason is because when this one is independent and she has her own money and I had money as well. I have money as well. When I say we must go this side, then she says I want to go that side. You see, that's not a problem of marriage. It's a problem of communication. For me, I'm telling you, even if we were to take his prescription and apply it, that will not work apart from hard work, because you still need to work on this thing, because it's not like it's two things that you just have to put like that and then that's it, then it will function. Without communication and hard work, it's not going to work.
Sure. Let's continue. I think that's a good point and observation.
Sure.
And I'm like, but I said, she's like, well, I can afford. I say this because I've seen a lot of marriages end because The man married the woman when she was young, student, whatever. He had a car and whatever. As soon as she becomes empowered and strong and moneyed, clash. What would be ideal, of course, if we were dynamic, intelligent human beings, would be at the onset, like the interview, a job interview, why would you like to join this company? Sure. And Nati ask us questions. Why are you guys interviewing? What actually happened?
Yeah.
So there should be a similar needs analysis thing at the beginning of, why do you want to be with me? Oh, because I love you. As who the cares what that means?
Yeah.
I think we forgot to make a disclaimer that we will be bleeping some language there.
Sure. Yeah, no, because it's hectic. And now he continues. Penuel continue to give what he thinks would be ideal, which is to do need analysis.
This is dating. That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, basically that's that. That's the whole journey and the process of dating. But for me, and this might not be true, and this might not be what he's implying. For me, he's looking for two levers that will fit in straight like this.
Okay.
We find one that is open like this, find one that is open like this, and find so that they can fit in like this. Even if they could fit in like that, without communication and the hard work of wanting to make this thing fit in, it's still not going to work. So there's work prior to this. It's not just a pick and choose according to whether you fit in or you don't fit in. Even when you fit in, there's still hard work. And also, how do you even determine that a person fully fit in? Because you can't fully explore their mind and their opinions, what they say and what they do not say, except for being in a journey with them and really discover the truth.
No, I agree with him on that basis. Whether it can be justified or not, that's a conversation for another day. But
yeah, sure.
There should be we must put our cards on the table. That's what I expect.
Communicating expectations.
Expectations.
That's how I would articulate this thing.
Let's talk. Why are we getting into this? That's important. What are you bringing to the table?
That's a problem.
Yeah, we've talked about that. But
sure.
Anyway, that conversation is necessary.
Sure.
And
I agree.
Although I think he puts it very harshly, saying if we're intelligent human beings.
Yeah, if we're intelligent human beings, I think that's a harsh.
But I think I'm with him. But like I'm saying, whether the reasons can be justified or not, or that's another conversation for another day. Whether they hold water, what your expectations are, whether they hold water, and I think we've talked about that in the previous episode.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. No, I agree with you. But also ultimately, Meg, we have to still revert to the original purpose of marriage. It can't just be what we want. It can't just be what we want. The whole purpose of this thing, of course, is that we will have a joyous family and all of those things. We will have a good society at the end of the day. But also, marriage is designed to glorify Him and not to glorify us.
Yeah.
Because if we have so much things that just makes us happy and all of those things, then we have turned the whole institution into something that glorifies us and our joy, But marriage is intended to challenge us as well from those fundamentals that we come into marriage with. It's meant to challenge us and to move us, because ultimately marriage is not the end. It's the means to an end.
Sure.
The end is to stand before God one day where He will say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." And God used that institution of marriage to shape us, to expose some of our weaknesses. You see how much you have pride. You see how much how selfish you are. All of those things. Marriage expose those things, and other people don't want to stay within marriage because marriage is hard work in that regard, because it exposes you of all of those things. They just want something that match and fit, and then it does that. Then if it doesn't match and fit, then we must just part ways
I remember going into marriage thinking that I've got this.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna teach this person how to do
Yes, how to
things.
do
That I've got
love.
things intact.
Yes.
And it's that humbling. It's that what is it, humbling?
Yes.
That will really humble you.
Yes.
It's those.
You'll see that you are not as perfect as you thought
As
you
you
are.
thought, yeah, yeah.
You don't have got this together as you think you did. Yeah.
And the easy way would be to leave and find somebody who will not challenge.
Yes, who will not challenge your
challenge
worldview even.
And those things that you need to work on.
Yes.
And who won't expose how messed up you are.
Yeah,
and I
sure.
think the deception of our times is that with it's believing that if we do marriage according to God, to glorify God, then there's no pleasure in it. That there's no happiness in it. And at the same time, happiness is not the end goal, but happiness will be experienced.
Yes, sure. For sure.
As we pursue God's purpose.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, marriage is a beautiful thing.
Ah,
man.
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
wonderful.
beautiful thing. And we'll talk
Look
about
at us, we are better people.
Yeah, hey, man. Yeah, no, I agree. Let's listen to the last one. I mean, we will not exhaust this, but I think we'll just make the last comment on
Sure.
this and leave it to the U-pluggers to make their own.
Yeah.
What if you don't love me tomorrow? What if you love someone? So let's speak about.
Let's close there with him speaking about love. He says, "Who cares what love means in marriage? What if you don't love me tomorrow?" So this love thing is not that important. As long as we have done need analysis and we come together based on whether this person meets those needs or not. And if they're done meeting those needs, then they can leave, because his argument is, who cares what love is? That's a challenge on its own. One, you have reduced marriage to love only. But also you have then overruled the importance of love in a relationship, in that particular relationship. My Christian worldview forces me to love someone first before anything. You know, I have to agape them because they have been made in the image of God, and if I have to love them, I have to respect them because they carry this intrinsic worth, this intrinsic value that is not put by me but by God. So because of that, I am obliged. I am designed by God. They are designed by God, and I owe them love. I need to love them first before all the other thing. And then there's the affection, love of romance, which is an add-on. It's not foundational. It's an add-on to this love this agape love that already exists.
Sure.
Then you have this other love of the affectionate kind of love, which then make this whole emotional, psychological experience of marriage beautiful. But also on top of that, there's commitment. You know, love its own won't sustain this marriage. You know, commitment, covenant will sustain this to an end. I may not feel like I love you tomorrow. You know how many people, I feel like I don't love many people so many times, man. I feel like
Sure.
but that's how I feel. But that is not that should not make a final decision. You know, a commitment to this, that's what sustains it. Marriage is commitment. It's not just love. Love is a beautiful experience that comes with that, and we should not rob ourselves from loving and being loved. But there is commitment on top of that. Commitment says, even if I feel a different way, I am committed to make this work. And my love for this person is it's not based on how I feel about them. I don't know what you're thinking.
I fully concur with what you're saying, and my response is, I mean, you ask a question: who cares about love? We care about love.
Yes.
That is, I don't think you can take that away from anyone. Life can show you flames. Relationships can show you flames. You have to really come to a point where you are desensitized, and I don't know you are what to say I don't care about love. But if you get to that point, I think you really need help. I think you need to there's some sort of intervention that's
a serious challenge
that needs to happen, because we are built for love.
Yes.
and we need love. And I think we should not come to a point where we are desensitized from that need, where we divorce ourselves from that need for love. Yes, it may have been abused. Yes, it may have been taken advantage of, but the fact remains is that we need love.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, this is a whole 3-minute segment that we unfortunately, because of time, not be able to. But as we continue, I think we will revisit and engage even more this conversation about marriage and love, and just also give our own faith perspective on the subject. We hope that this was educational to someone. We hope that if you do not subscribe to our faith, to our Christian faith, we hope you have been given an alternative to say there's this opinion and there's this other opinion, and we hope that you will just make a right decision. But to us, marriage is important. Marriage should last for permanent, and there is communication and relationship, and love matters, as Meg has read. Meg, has any close-up comments?
Yeah, I think I want to reiterate that we are not blinded from the realities of the world that we live in.
Yeah,
we are
sure.
not blinded to the hurt that happens. We're not blinded to the fact that Mujolo can show you flames, that
Yeah,
you
sure.
can be betrayed, that even the entrance into a commitment it does not guarantee that
Yes.
everything will go well,
Yeah,
that
sure.
it will be reciprocated. But this is a journey that God is inviting us to, and he is with us through that reality.
Yeah, sure.
And we cannot we cannot downplay that or take it for granted. So yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, friends and family. Let us know what you think about what we are saying, about what Penuel is saying. We hope that you will see it not as a personal attack, but also just as a different opinions that are presented before you. That you will make choices that will assist you in the future. Would like to hear from you and your experiences as well. So thank you very much for tuning in, for joining us. We really do appreciate your love and your support. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe, turn on your post notification so that when we continue to upload, you will be notified of our content. So friends, remain plugged.
Ciao.
Ciao.